Tonight on Pop Samurai Network's Pop Power Block, we will see the greatest of the heroes as they have fallen asunder. We will also be switching things up, and we will see some new segments from people who don't usually do those segments. It's like this whole big switcheroo episode, and it was supposed to happen last week, and it's happening this week. Fun shenanigans. Be sure to stay tuned for Pop Samurai Network.
Pop Samurai, I choose you!
Is Pop Samurai?
No. Hey, Pop Samurai, if you're not listening to Pop Samurai, then you're doing nothing constructive. Correct.
In a world looking for something to listen to, a group of friends rise to the challenge. It's Pop Samurai.
Hello there, and welcome back to Pop Samurai Network. I am your host, Will Walkie Washkun, along with my lovely and talented co-hosts. That's Critical Joel Peprocki, and that's Jaboy Jelani Hoon. And we are here this week to rank the top 5 fallen heroes in all of pop culture. Guys, pretty heroic task ahead of us. Wouldn't you say?
I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm in the best condition of my life right now, and let's do this.
Yeah, you do some stretches. You stretch out the hammies before this.
All right. Yes. All right.
Good. I am so glad to hear that. I want to say hi to everyone who's in the chat. What's up, Designer Awash? What's up, Bumblebee Cause? Amy Vicky's out there. Always good to see you all. If you are new to this, though, if you're not in the chat yet, be sure to hit that follow button for more of our casts. And check out popsamurainetwork.com for all of our social links, our blog posts, our pictures, stuff that we haven't updated in longer than that. It's all there. And it's all there for you, so be sure to check it out and keep it locked to Pop Samurai Network on Twitch and everywhere else that you get your media. So that's my little spiel. I think I've already introduced everyone. I don't know why I'm looking at this piece of paper. It's blank. Who am I lying to? I say we just get into the rankings. What do you say?
I'm ready to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the definition of a fallen hero. This is important. This is someone who was truly in their hearts at one point a hero. And then they believed in whatever cause they were advancing, and then something happened to cause them to fall from grace, to turn to the dark side. This isn't like a betrayer, someone who infiltrated, making you think they were good and then stabbed you in the back. This is someone that was your compatriot, your brother, and they turned their back on you for one reason or another. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
That is the definition. And for the very definition of heroism, let's turn to Jaboy for his number 5.
Number 5 here for Jaboy. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so my number 5 is going to be. Why did it move? Okay,
it's going to be a pop-up window.
It's gonna be a pop-up window. My number 5 here is going to be from a video game franchise that I love, and it is the Mortal Kombat franchise. Is where I'm going to.
Interesting.
I decided because one of my favorite characters since the beginning was Liu Kang, and in the kind of remake new era, Liu Kang falls from grace and turns to the dark side.
I didn't know that.
Spoilers if you didn't know that. But then, he the greatest hero of the franchise turns to the dark side. So it's very interesting, and I love it. So that's my number 5.
Right on. Joel, your number 5.
All right. Let me just write this down so I'm keeping track of this. Okay. All right, cool. My number 5 is from a video game as well, but it is not that fighting game. It is from Tekken. We are talking Kazuya Mishima.
Wow, those are
the fallen son.
Those are incredibly well matched number 5s.
I do like it. Johnny's looking at me like, you son of a bitch.
You.
All right.
All right.
Number 5 for me is also from a video game. But it is not from a fighting game. No, it is from a real-time strategy game. This is the first fallen hero that came to mind when I created this list, so she's going right at the top.
Yep.
It is Sarah Kerrigan from StarCraft.
Nice.
Also known as the Queen of Blades.
Nice.
Jelani, hit us with number 4.
All right, number 4 from a Jaboy over here. I'm going to go with the character of from Naruto. I'm going to go for Sasuke from Naruto. I think that Sasuke Uchiha, I think, was one of those very first anime characters. I was like, oh man, it totally sucks that you went to the dark side and stayed like constant on there. But yeah, I wanted to put him on this list, so this is what I'm going with.
Okay. Very well done. Going over to Joel, number 4.
All right. I feel like I would not do myself a service if I did not include this one on here. Not only did it make for a great video game enemy, but obviously the movie was a great enemy as well. It is Alec Trevelyan. It is Janice
006. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh,
Trevelyan. I like it.
Trevelyan, that's it, yeah.
Yep. Okay. My number 4 also was in a video game, but the video game was terrible. He was much better in the actual movie. I'm going to go with the guy that dies every time he comes into a movie. His character from Lord of the Rings, Boromir, is my number 4.
Every time.
Every time. Sean that guy finds a way to die. I swear to God, they put like 20 screenplays on his desk, and he instantly like throws away any of them where he lives happily ever after. It's like, nope, garbage. Get this out of my face.
Nice. I like it.
Jelani, I've delayed enough. Why don't you hit us with your number 3?
Oh, number 3 for me is going from another video game, but one that's already been mentioned. One of my favorite fighting franchises of all time is Tekken, and my favorite character from Tekken is Kazuya. So Kazuya is actually my number 3 on this list.
I see how it is. I see what's happening.
I
feel like I just got a spin jump kick to the face right now. But that's okay. We'll go over to Joel, and hopefully he doesn't throw me further off this cliff. What's your number 3?
I would say that video games were kind of hard to dig through to find good, fallen heroes. But one of them certainly did come to mind for me. And this one, I think, is pretty obvious. Although he was a gun for hire essentially before, it is Sephiroth. He turned bad, real bad.
Okay.
He did. He went full dark side.
Yeah, exactly. So,
all right.
Leave that one off.
Not where I thought you were going, and I'm excited because it means that I get to say this next one first. Mine is also from a video game, a game that I don't know, someone on this show really likes. I'm going to go with Big Boss from the Metal Gear series.
All right. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nicely done, sir.
My lord.
Yeah, I know. We got some heavy hitters on here already.
A lot of video game fallen heroes.
I like that, though.
Yeah.
That's good.
Video game heavy list so far. Jelani,
like
how about your...
It was tough.
Yeah, well, good. I like it when it's a thinker.
Yeah.
Hurt my head. Jelani.
Yes.
Your number 2, please.
So my number 2 is going to be the character I decided to go with Bucky Barnes from The Winter Soldier. I think is a character who started as a hero, a war hero, and fell from grace, literally falling from grace of a train.
That is such a good pick. That is, I don't even have the Winter Soldier on my list, and that's very, very good.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yes.
All right, Joel, number 2.
All right. I had a very tough time with this, but I think this boy needs to be mentioned on this list. Probably my favorite rendition of the character, and definitely a fall from grace. It is Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight.
Oh, hey, what's up with these coins? Hey.
Making my own luck. All right. Well, with Harvey Dent exploding onto Joel's list, I'm going to admit that I did not get out ahead of you this time, because number 2 for me is also going to be that Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight.
Nice.
And yes, Two-Face. And I'm going to save the best of what I have to say about that for when I say it.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we've come to the part of the show where we talk about those heroes that didn't fall quite far enough. This is the honorable mentions. So this is the people who you thought were pretty good, just not top 5 good. Jaboy, what you got?
All right. People who didn't make my list almost did. I decided to go. I have Giovantine from RE5. I have who else I have here? Michael Corleone from The Godfather. I thought was movie basically his fall from grace. Harvey Dent. I also had who barely squeaked out there on not making my list, and that's pretty much what I got. Quick and easy.
Pretty honorable. Joel, what about you?
I don't have a long list.
But
who are you? Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. But I've got a few here. So Magneto from X-Men First Class. Jean Grey, but it's not her fault, so can't really blame her. Jack Torrance is kind of a hit or miss there. I don't know what to think. He might have been bad beforehand. HAL 9000, son of a bitch computer. Hannibal Lecter, defends from Falling Down. Quentin from the movie The Cube. Job Smith from Lawnmower Man. Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver. Revy from Black Lagoon. And Wheatley from Portal 2.
Excellent list. Very honorable.
Folks, if you had told me in the past, before we started this stream, that someone would bring up Lawnmower Man at any point, I would have called you a liar.
You know, I want to point out another I would have called you a liar moment. If someone had told me 3 streams in a row that we would mention Wheatley from Portal 2.
No shit, I know.
He has gotten a mention 3 weeks in a row, not including last week. That's pretty impressive for such an underfoot character. Yeah. All right. My honorable mentions. I have Handsome Jack from the Borderlands series.
Nice.
Anakin Skywalker, Light Yagami from Death Note, Sasuke Uchiha, 343 Guilty Spark from Halo, the original Halo, if you think about it, going way back. The Elusive Man from Mass Effect starts out reviving the main character, and then you realize that he's just a giant jerk. But for that split second, you were aligned. I have Magneto. Michael Corleone was on my list as well. Hama the Bloodbender from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Cool. It seemed like she was really good and looking to help, and then she revealed herself to be the Witch of the Wilds sort of character. Wheatley was also on my list. Gendo Ikari from Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And Al-Mualim, who was the mentor of the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood in the original Assassin's Creed. Ended up having to fight him for the apple. Spoiler alert. for that game from like 2008. So that's my list.
Nice. You got some good ones on those runners up there.
Thank you. All right. Enough telling each other that we're smart and brilliant and extremely good looking. It's time to get really down to it and talk about our heroes of heroes, the number one, the furthest fallen. Jelani, who you got?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I really like DC and DC Comics. And you probably could have guessed who my number one is going to be here. I enjoy it when someone can actually write a good story when he's the good guy, but I think a lot of people really gravitate to when he falls from grace, and that is when Superman falls from grace.
Oh, yes. I was wondering if you were going to put that on there.
Okay.
Nicely done.
And when Bizarro rises to power, right? When he becomes humanity's champion. I'd like to see that. If like Superman just falls from grace and then Bizarro just happens to show up on the same day being like, Bizarro, change his ways.
Bizarro don't change his ways, actually, because he
right,
speaks.
Of course.
Bizarro, the villain. He just starts punching Superman. All right.
I still feel like there's too much friction because he never says his name backwards, which is what I would kind of expect. I don't know. I'm just ranting. Joel, why don't you stop me from myself, save me from myself, and give us your number one?
All right. Well, let's just say I think this needs to be on this list. Mine is none other than the firefighting with Obi-Wan. I mean, come on. It's freaking Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker.
No.
Very good. Very good. My number one is, it might feel a bit timely, but I don't care. For like the third week in a row, I got something musical on here. I'm gonna go with Aaron Burr as he's portrayed in the musical Hamilton.
Oh,
I think that he is a fantastic case of a fallen hero.
I like that.
Good.
Nice. Aaron Burr.
Nice.
Okay. So there you have it. Those are our top 5 lists. If you have some picks that you'd like to share with us, be sure to throw those in the chat. And we will get started with the nomination round. We are going to take someone from our list and nominate them for a spot on the show's Big 5 list. After that, we'll debate, and then we'll vote for who gets to stand among the greatest of the fallen heroes. And since I've been picking on him to go first the whole time, Jelani, you get to nominate first for the big board.
Oh, I like it. Okay, so let's see here. I think I'm gonna go with Bucky Barnes, throwing him up at number 3.
All right, Bucky at number 3. Joel.
All right. I think I'm gonna give a shot with 006 at number 4.
06 at number 4, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I am going to go with Sarah Kerrigan from StarCraft at number 5.
Number 5.
Sound good, O Keeper of the Book?
All right, we're good.
Okay, so the way this works is I'm going to put 4 minutes on the timer, and I'm going to start talking about my pick because it is going for the lowest spot on the list. We'll then go to Joel to defend 006, and then we'll go to Jelani. And at the end of it, we will vote majority rules. So anybody who receives 2 yay votes will get on the list. Sound good?
Yes.
Good. Good. Then I will pull up my handy dandy clock app. 5 stars. Gotta check it out. Google Play Store. Highly recommended. 4 minutes on the clock. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Irrelevant, because I'm going first. And go. Okay, so StarCraft, of course, one of the Mount Rushmore games of real-time strategy, made Blizzard what it is today. That and Warcraft and World of Warcraft and whatever. The point is, this game is a sci-fi epic. And you start playing Terrans, which look very similar to humans. It's very easy to learn and get into the story and kind of root for them. They look like us. Sarah Kerrigan plays the first ghost unit that you get to play. That means she can go invisible. She can point out targets for nukes. She has the sniper rifle. Very cool character. And you really kind of grow to love and respect her throughout the Terran campaign. And at one point, she gets taken by the Zerg, which are these sort of primal, brutal, bug-like aliens. Hive mind, yes. And they convert her. They steal her and they taint her blood and they make her into something else. They turn her into the Queen of Blades. That's right. She is now the queen of all the Zerg, commanding them to slaughter the Protoss and the Terrans at will. It is one of your greatest heroes becoming the greatest villain and the greatest threat to civilization in the galaxy. I think it's a slam dunk from a really great game. Deserves to be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, why don't you tell us about Trevelyan?
All right. So I find this one interesting. For those who have seen GoldenEye, this is just a real brief recap, but for those who haven't, at least I'll give a little background. This character, this is the only movie that I'm aware of that you're actually hanging out with another of the double O's. And that was a big deal because we're always like, well, what are all the other numbers? Come on. And I thought this was a pretty cool story because the Betrayal has a actual cool history, and they gave this character particularly an interesting role. Which is that he was, with 007 in the introductory fight, and he is caught, and then he is executed, and basically Bond flees. And 9 years later, he finds out that Bond is still doing his thing. 9 years later, he goes and is investigating a helicopter being stolen and like a bunch of weird stuff going on, and eventually is introduced to this character who stole the helicopter named Janice, and basically finds out it is 006. And this whole thing comes down to the political climate circa the end of the Cold War and the fall of the Soviet Union and whatnot, and basically the betrayal of the countries on the people who were there, because 006 was actually from one of those nations. So I thought this was a very powerful, typical Bond story where they use the Cold War elements, but in a modern twist. So I was like, this is a really cool double spy use, and so not only that, but he was brutal, he was an asshole, but up front when you first see him, you're like, oh man, I like that guy. Why he's like his buddy, why the heck do we want to just let him go and whatever? Got to move on from it, right? And then boom, he's a jerk. So I thought this was a really cool use of the stab you in the back, but not just betrayer. It was a turn to the dark side over time.
Yeah, agreed. Also, you just killed Jelani. So you have betrayed one of our own.
Boom! He's a jerk.
Boom! He's a jerk.
I want to have it as a ringtone.
I want it as a shirt.
Boom! Oh my lord! I'm sorry. I don't know why that got me, but it got me.
All right, we stole all of your time, Jelani. So I'm going to put an extra minute on, and you go ahead and talk about your pick.
Yes. So number 3, I decided to put Bucky Barnes up here. I think he is one of the backbones for one of the best characters, or one of the top tier characters in the MCU, and even in the comic books as well. They did a really great job of doing this. But Bucky Barnes started out as, like, in the comic books, he was a sidekick of Captain America. He was just like, he's like the Robin kind of character and things like that. In the MCU, he was his friend. He was his best friend. He was the war hero, the soldier. And it was someone that Bucky even would, before beef boy looked up to him as well because of just like how great and honorable he was and how much of a great friend he was. And this led to the story of the Winter Soldier, where spoilers if you haven't seen it or know anything about it, like Bucky ends up being the assassin, the Winter Soldier, who's been brainwashed and turned into like this kind of Manchurian Candidate, kind of like sleeper cell character. And so the story and the character arc that like even Cap goes through of just like, I won't give up on my friend, and I know he's in there, even though he seems to not be there. I think it's one of the most powerful things in the MCU, but also like well done in the comic books as well. So I want to throw this up there. So that's what I got.
Right on. Okay, we went a little over on time there, but that's okay. The debate has ended, which means the time for voting is now. We will start with my pick at number 5, Sarah Kerrigan from StarCraft. And I'm going to say she's good as Ghost. I want her on the list. So it's a yay from me. Jelani, what do you think?
All right. StarCraft was the very first StarCraft was the only StarCraft I ever played. But I absolutely loved Sarah Kerrigan. I loved her character arc and everything that happened in that. It's a really great pick. I once I found out like that like she was gonna be turned and she ends up being like the queen of the Zerg. I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
No. But also really powerful turn. So I'm gonna go with the big yay.
Joel, what would you have said?
I would have said yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So, Sarah Kerrigan, the Queen of Blades, slashes into the number 5 spot. Let's check on Joel and see if he still believes in his backstabbing spy of a character. What do you say? Number 4 for 006?
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it was his original intent to become bad, so it just kind of was, yeah. So yes, yeah, I'll say that because it's not just the full blown betrayal like you described earlier in the show. So
I'll vote next, and I've got to say I didn't even think of this pick, but it is like by definition a fantastic choice for this list. I can't think of any reason why he wouldn't go other than selfishly protecting the number 4 spot for something else I've got. So I'm going to give it a yay.
Nice.
All right. So it would have lived me. My opinion doesn't matter in this, but I'm still going to vote, as everybody should. I am going to give this a yay as well. GoldenEye is probably one of my favorite Bond films out there, pre-Daniel Craig stuff. But even compared to some of the Daniel Craig stuff, I still hold this one and this storyline and this character. I think is one of the better surprise villains. So yes.
Okay, awesome. And then we go to number 3, Jelani. Bucky.
All right, that Winter Soldier goodness. Yes.
Will he Bucky the trend and be the first one stricken from our list?
Yes. Let's see here. So for Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, I'm going to give this a yay. I want to try and get out of this list. So
nice, Joel.
All right. I was having a tough time with this one because of the same thing as Jean Grey, where it's like, can she help it? Since he was kind of brainwashed. I really like the pick because I think he's honestly, and actually I'll say this. Falling from being a hero does not preclude you from being able to have that done against your will. Just like how Harvey Dent essentially was, right? So in that light, yes, he gets to be on here. That is an awesome pick.
Cool. All right. It would have been a great big metallic thumbs up from me too.
Nice.
This is an inspired pick. I think he's absolutely fantastic. And the best part is he falls and then he rises again, at least in the MCU.
Yeah.
He becomes a hero once again. And he almost became the next Captain America. But I think Falcon was the right pick. I think that was a better pick.
Yes.
So That being said, Falcon and the Winter Soldier should be very entertaining whenever we get that. So,
Yes.
okay, guys, we've already gotten rid of 3 spots on our list, which means all we have is the big boys, numbers 1 and 2. Joel, you get to nominate first.
All right.
Here come the death rounds. Here we go.
I know this is really bad. I'm gonna put Anakin at number 1. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I am going to put Aaron Burr at number 2.
All right. This is tough.
I mean, you got some pretty good ones there. And
I do
especially
got some good ones. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna go for broke here. I'm gonna throw that Superman pick at number 1
Yeah.
against.
All right,
Let's
that's fun.
let's do this debate. Let's see.
All right.
Okay. So 4 minutes on the clock. I get to start again with Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr? Sir?
Are you, sir? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Cool. Wait for it. Wait for it. And go. Okay, so if you didn't get it, that was a joke. That was an Aaron Burr joke. Hamilton, of course, is the musical sensation that is taking the world by storm. And now that we have Disney Plus, it is Disney canon. So Elizabeth Schuyler is a Disney princess. You heard it here first. Aaron Burr starts out, you hear this at the end of the play, but he starts out as Alexander Hamilton's first friend when he gets to America, when he gets to New York. He seeks him out. He asks him for advice. He becomes this mentor, but also this kind of older brother type character, even though I think Aaron Burr was actually a year younger than Hamilton in real life. Not important. What's important is you see this character who's always ambitious, but always living in the shadow of Alexander Hamilton. And he's always biding his time. He's always getting ready for his big moment, and it never seems to come. And he's protecting his parents' legacy as Hamilton, just with reckless abandon, charges after his dreams. And slowly Aaron Burr, like the cogs start to turn, and he realizes that every time he could have advanced, Alexander Hamilton did in his stead. So you've got this guy who fought in the Revolutionary War, who was one of the founding fathers of our nation, who was one of Hamilton's best friends, who does a heel turn at the end of the show to sort of become this like insidious, power-hungry, take no prisoners sort of guy, as he's the vice president of America. It's an amazing character arc. It's someone that you rooted for, that you always knew was going to turn bad, and that didn't stop it from being super satisfying. And I think that is a feat in and of itself. When he fell, you expected it, and it was still great. So Aaron Burr deserves to be on this list. I'll sing it if you need me to.
Mm-hmm.
And I took too much time. But why don't we start with Jelani for his number one pick of Superman?
All right. Superman, I think I've talked about this plenty of times, but for me, it stands for like that. When you think of Superman, it's always you're supposed to think of like truth, justice, and like just the light, right? That is in the DC universe. He is on the spectrum of good versus evil. He is good side all the way. When you see Superman fall from grace in different stories, different iterations, we've seen him fall from grace. I enjoy the one where he is in The Dark Knight Returns and he basically has turned into a government puppet. Even though he still has the good heart that he has to be controlled by certain people. That right there, I think, is one of the better fall from graces of what he was. But a lot of people do remember from a more modern iteration of it, of the Injustice games, where he falls from grace after being tricked by the Joker into murdering Lois and his child. And he just snaps. He goes down the road of what everyone always thinks when they think of for like Batman and a lot of superheroes. Why not just kill the villains instead of like let them go? Why not control everything? And so he decides to go full on doing it to protect the world and his mind, but he's snapped off the deep and he's gone a step too far, where he is, doing things doing too much. And I think when you look at it in that, like, it a lot of people even point at it as, like, even makes him more of a more interesting character sometimes. But yeah, I think it's just a very interesting contrast to what he was as like the poster boy for good, and just seeing it just completely smeared in darkness is interesting to say.
Oh, and by the way, an unstoppable god.
Yeah. If you need something else, it seems like a lot, but sure, we'll just throw that on there too.
Yeah. So yeah, I think let's give it a shot. I think it deserves to go on this list of one of the better types of falls. But yes.
Okay, Joel, we're way over time, but you still get your chance to speak.
I mean, come on, not like Anakin Skywalker needs much of an introduction, because his other name is Darth Vader, of course. And yeah, I'm sorry to ruin it for people who haven't seen it, but I'll say that George Lucas, for all the hate he gets in the early 2000s, so episodes 1, 2, and 3, the fall from grace for this character was actually well developed. And I think everybody kind of sympathized with him as he was feeling more and more isolated from the the Jedi order in general, and the council. So and they even got to expand it even more with Ashoka and stuff like that. But I think this is really cool how you can kind of see his temptations coming along a little bit more and more as he becomes that kind of angsty teenager where he kind of wants to rebel. But what it is people just telling him to slow down, take the time. And it's like, we've all been there and felt that feeling of, I don't want to. Well, all of us did end up being forced to usually have to wait. Otherwise, you learned a mistake. But in his case, he just chose, I'm not going to wait. I want to do what I want to do. And it turns out that it led him down the dark path. And I think that's an interesting development for somebody that is a household name now, to really present the story of once was good, falls to the dark side, and is like trying to come back from that in some manner and can't, because they're just so consumed by it. So very cool archetype. And I mean, what can we say? It's Darth Vader.
Right on. Okay, well, I don't know why I keep looking at the clock, because we're nowhere close, but that's just because we have a lot of stuff to say about these characters. There is something very compelling about seeing someone that you thought you knew and understood, and that was a good character becoming evil. And we're seeing it because we can't shut up about them. They're that good. So... enough talk. Let's vote. Number 2, I'm talking about Aaron Burr. Sir. This is the room where it happens. I put him at number 2 when I want to see it happen. So let's make it happen. Aaron Burr gets a yay from me. Jelani, what do you think?
It's funny because he's always been number 2. I'm wondering if I should just cut him from the list.
Oh.
Are you going to throw away my shot?
I think I should probably throw away my shot, and I think I should give Aaron Burr a shot at number 2 here. So I think I'm going to vote yay. I absolutely love this pick.
Yes.
I think this is an inspired pick here.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Joel, what would you have said?
I would have forced it upon Jelani had you gone the other direction, just because I told you guys I haven't seen this one, so I cannot speak to it, unfortunately. And that's not a draw away from your character choice. I just I don't know anything about it really. So
okay, you need to see it. You need to tell me what parts made you cry. We'll talk about it next week, so get on it. All right. Even the chat is blowing up. They're adding you, saying you need to see it. So
And if you can't get to that, at least watch the drunk history version of it where Lin-Manuel Miranda recounts it. So.
Yes, that was
Oh,
very
yeah,
good.
yeah,
And
right.
Aubrey Plaza played Aaron Burr
She does.
for Drunk History. That was so fun. He needs to watch the musical Hamilton because Aaron Burr just made it on the list. Let's go to number 1 now, which is the first actual duel we've had today between Superman and Anakin Skywalker. Jelani, how do you plead?
So, I am going to stick with my Superman pick, obviously, but I do applaud this other pick.
Thank you. And I suppose then we're going to put it over to me, which means we're going to put it on Will, because I'm going for Anakin. Enjoy disappointing one of us. Oh, no, wait a minute. You can disappoint both of us.
My hatred of Superman, my hatred of Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Oh, no.
Dang, this sucks, especially because we've got Harvey Dent sitting on the bench for this.
That's the thing.
Will
has, ladies and gentlemen, Will has 3 choices here. He could cast his vote for Superman, and Superman makes it to the list, and we end. He casts a vote for Anakin Skywalker, and Anakin makes the list, and we end. Or he decides to be a dick, and boom, he's a dick, and he cuts both of ours by abstaining, and we go into sudden death overdrive as we probably all pick something to battle it out for number 1 here. If you think that there's something else on the list that deserves the spot,
you thought
mustache.
You thought I was the hero you were waiting for.
Oh, no.
But it turns out I'm going bad. I am going to abstain. Which means neither one of these characters gets...
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm
the majority.
Nominating Will Milwaukee Washington for number 1 on this list.
Drunk with power.
Neither of them make it. And I have forced a round 3. Yeah. So we'll see if my pick gets any votes. Seeing as how it is my time to nominate also, and because I just sort of showed my hand, I'm going to put Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight at number 1.
All right.
Because it's the only thing I think you guys will vote for at this point. All of my other stuff is forfeit. There's no chance.
That's not true. No, they're good. They're good.
No, you have a really strong.
The Boromir dying every movie is an exact.
Well, yeah, I didn't want him to fall on the sword for this one. Jelani, who are you gonna put up?
Number 1, huh? You know what? Just because I want to talk about it, I'm gonna throw Kazuya up there.
Kazuya Mishima and Joel.
All right, well, I only have 2 choices left, and I think the one that I want to do most is Harvey Dent as well, so I'll back you up.
Nice. Okay. So in this case, what we're going to see is a battle between Harvey Dent and Kazuya Mishima. At the end of it, both Joel and I can speak for Harvey Dent. At the end of it, we'll vote like normal, and since there are 3 of us, presumably someone will have to get the requisite 2 votes this time. So, I will start again. It seems like a trend. And then we'll go to Jelani, and then we'll vote.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, excuse me. Tasted like quesadilla. 4 minutes on the clock. And I'm starting now. So here's my whole case for the Harvey Dent that came out in The Dark Knight. I think that he had the absolute perfect line. The number 1 thing that I think of when when I think of a fallen hero is Harvey Dent standing there and saying, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Like, talk about foreshadowing, talk about perfectly encapsulating what we're talking about today. That is it right there. Like, he understood that the power that he had, that all of us have, can corrupt. And so, you know, and then that plays into Batman's choice where everyone thinks, oh, you know, he's the one that's going to save us all. And then he has to become the villain to preserve Harvey Dent's legacy and save Gotham. I mean, it's a microcosm inside a shell wrapped up in a big old bunch of drama. It's perfect. And I haven't even gotten to the awesome job they did with CG to fuck up his face, or the thing with the coin, or the awesome, like, trying to decide between Harvey Dent and Rachel. That was really good. The scene where he's in the hospital bed and the Joker's there. I don't know. That's just so good. Everything about that. The when he shoots the driver. I mean, this was a fantastic portrayal of a fantastic character, one of the quintessential Batman villains. I think Harvey Dent is a slam dunk. He was the White Knight that became Two-Face. So that's what I gotta say. Sorry, anything to add, Joel?
No, I would rather not waste time so we can give Jelani a bit of time to talk. I'll just add that it's like, you know, when I think at this point in time, when you think of Two-Face, you probably go to that rendition of him. And it's nothing against Tommy Lee Jones because he did a fantastic job as well. But I think it's a different ball game in this film, and really they built up that sympathetic story for him, and to feel that we were all like gut wrenched by it. So just gonna leave it at that. Jelani, good luck defending against one of your favorite franchises.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about Kazuya Mishima. When I first joined the PlayStation family, my very first game was the Tekken game. I love fighters.
Which one? 2 or 3?
Tekken 1.
Oh, it was Tekken. Oh, wow. Okay.
Tekken 1. When I received my first PS1, and one of the earliest games that we got was Tekken, and awesome. I've loved that series ever since. Even though how batshit crazy it got, the characters, the fighting system, it's always been my favorite fighting game. I absolutely love it. I love that 3D fighter, but Tekken and Kazuya Mishima, I think, is amazing because in the first game, he is the hero of the game. His father is just this, he's a dick. And he, as a young child, threw him off a mountain into a volcano, and he climbed back up and rose back up to try and defeat his father in the Iron Fist tournament and take the company and take what's rightfully his back. And at the end of the game, you see him throw his father into the volcano. You find out that Kazuya made a deal with the devil, and he tainted his soul. And that's just one of the best falls from grace. I still love Kazuya as a character. I still love playing him to this day, and he's one of my favorite fighting game characters out there. And his story arc, I think, is really great. So here we go.
Right on.
I had him on my list. I just want to add that it's cool that you get to play as Devil Kazuya and stuff like that too. So it's another thing that comes out of him. And you know, that son of a bitch dad threw him off, I think, at 8 years old. So yeah, you'd make a deal with the devil to beat your head up too. So yeah, cool story. Let's see what happens.
All right. So seeing what happens means voting for what happens. We have Kazuya Mishima versus Harvey Dent for the greatest fallen hero, the greatest fall from grace. I will go first, and I'm going to vote for Two-Face. I don't even have to flip a coin. Gonna make my own luck here. Jelani, what would you vote for?
You know what? Just to make it interesting, I'm going to stick with Kazuya.
You should. You should make it interesting. It is a great pick. I will say that my first Tekken game was Tekken 3, so he was already a bad guy in my eyes. Anyway, Joel, the deciding vote.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really tough because they were both on my list. And what I liked about Kazuya most was actually that he was like typical boring ass red glove, white pants Ryu initially, and it didn't stay that way. So I thought it was very cool. However, that was something that came to mind for me, but I don't think does for most people. So I think what deserves to be on the show list is Harvey Dent. I'm sorry, Jelani. You know it's true.
Oh, boy. Well,
my heel turn is complete. All right. That means only one thing left to do. Jaboy, read us that big, beautiful list.
All right. The official top 5 fallen heroes in pop culture list that we've made here tonight is number 5. We have voted in Sarah Kerrigan from StarCraft. We have at number 4, Alex Trevelyan, right?
Trevelyan, yes.
From GoldenEye. Number 3, Bucky Barnes from The Winter Soldier or The Winter Soldier. Number 2, Aaron Burr, sir, from Hamilton. And number 1, Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight. So
now this is a good list, but I wouldn't trust it to stay that way for very long. Themes! We got some. Anyway, that is... and the chat has instantly turned on me, as you would expect. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Pop Contention. Stick around through the break as you will see a recap from our show a few weeks ago, and then come on back for some Pop Aficionados, which starts in about 10 minutes. As always, thank you so much for being here. Check out Pop Samurai on the internet, support us, and spread us around, and we will be infinitely grateful. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break, and we will see you in just a bit. Sound good, heroes?
Yeah. Enjoy that intermission.
All right. See you in a bit. Bye.